Thank you for joining me for lesson 88 of Sefer Mitzvahs Daily Study. Today we are learning 5 more mitzvahs. These are all negative mitzvahs, the prohibitions on incestuous relationships. They are negative 336, negative 335, 337, 338, and 339. Um, all right. So these prohibitions are on, and I'll just rapid fire kind of go through them. Incest with a daughter, incest with a daughter's daughter, so a granddaughter through your daughter, incest with a mother-in-law and or excuse me, a wife's daughter. Um, that one is Leviticus 18:17, which says, "You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter." Incest with a wife's paternal grandmother or a wife's son's daughter. And finally, the incest, not finally, we are going to finish some more tomorrow. But for today, incest with a wife's maternal grandmother or a wife's daughter's daughter. So that is the list for today. The all of these had a verse that was a proof in the Torah. Interestingly, the incest of the forbidden relations with a daughter was not included. And to those people who are extremely sola scriptura uh, in their reading of the Torah, that they don't want anything as an oral tradition. The tradition is that this is a biblical mitzvah not to have relations with your daughter, and it makes sense, right? That's a horrible thing, that would one would do that. And This is actually found under the incest. If it's so, basically, it's a how much more so. So, like, if incest with a granddaughter is forbidden, and then how much more so is incest with a daughter. And the sages also they deduce this from the wording of the verses, that incest with a daughter is biblically prohibited. We also have had this other one that said that you're not allowed to be with a mother and her daughter, which you might have thought maybe that's where it would be found, because obviously you had a wife, and then her daughter, you'd be not allowed to be with at the same time. But then that would indicate that if you weren't with the mother, then it would be okay to be with the daughter, and obviously that's not the case. So interesting, that this is a time where we rely on just logic, that this is a biblical prohibition, and this is considered a biblical prohibition, not a rabbinic prohibition. And So interesting little case there with that one. Sometimes people say, "Well, this is probably not a sin because it's not the Torah doesn't explicitly say that it is a sin," and they're talking about other things. But that's not necessarily the case, as shown here. We would all agree that having a relationship with your daughter that's not a normal father-daughter relationship, but you're actually having a relationship with her um, in an inappropriate manner. That that is obviously forbidden, and so we can agree that that this is a sin that didn't get explicitly mentioned in the Torah, and it is a sin nonetheless. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day in every way. With God's help, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.